You're on.
Following is the agenda for the regular meeting of Pompton Lakes Planning Board. Meetings to be held in the Municipal Building, 25 Lenox Avenue, Tuesday, October 15th, beginning at 7:30 p.m. Formal written advance notice is required by NJSA 10:40-1 et sec has been provided for this meeting at least 48 hours in advance of today, giving the time, date, and location, and to the extent known at the time of the agenda of this meeting. Such notice stated a formal action may or may not be taken. The meeting will be video recorded and will be broadcasted for later viewing for the public. The notice was, number one, posted on the bulletin board outside of the offices of the municipal clerk, reserved for this and other similar announcements. Number two, provided to the Suburban Trends, the newspaper designated by the council and planning board to receive such notices. And number three, filed with the borough clerk. Pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no oath of office, and roll call, please.
Okay. Mr. Simone is absent. Mr. Fracaro?
Here.
Mr. Trost?
Here.
Mr. Otto is absent. Dr. Pendexter?
Here.
Mr. Keating?
Here.
Mayor Sarah?
Here.
Councilman Deline?
Here.
And Mr. Bowlby?
Here.
Thank you.
And
We need a motion to approve the regular minutes of August 20th, 2024. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Dr.
Any-
Pendexter and Paul. Roll call?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Fracaro?
Yes.
Mr. Trost?
Yes.
Absent. Dr. Pendexter?
Present.
Present. Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Councilman Deline?
Yes.
And Mr. Bowlby?
Yes.
Awesome. Correspondence. There's a memo from Liz Brandis regarding Borough of Oakland introduction of an ordinance 24 CODE 949, Borough of Oakland Downtown Streetscape Design Standards. Number two, memo from Liz Brandis, Township of Wayne, ordinance number 59-2024, an ordinance to amend Chapter 134, Land Development, to create Mount Laurel Round 3, District 5, and associated zoning standards and processes of the code. And we've
Of the
lost
Borough of Township of Wayne.
Wayne, okay. Number three, memo from Liz Brandis again, directory update talking about expired terms and member application forms for 2025 to the planning board. If anybody received this memo, please fill it out and return it to Carmelina. Applications, none. We have new and unfinished business, and that brings us to PB 24-05, Lenox Elementary School, Capital Review Project, new artificial turf.
I'll just give the board real quickly. This is one of your, the task of the planning board. At times, there are applicants that do not need site plan review, and schools are exempt from it. They have to get approval from the state and lots of other things. But anytime there is money spent by a governmental entity on land use and development, and there's a master plan, then those plans come to the board on a referral for you to look at it for consistency with the master plan and really anything else you might want. This is not, you don't approve it, yes or no, but this is a requirement for them to come and just present it to you. So that's really what your job is here. Listen to it, and if there's any inconsistency with the master plan, note it. At the conclusion of both of these, I prepared resolutions. They can go, some boards do it via letter, some just in full notice. I typically do a resolution that you find it to be not inconsistent with the master plan, and that they have satisfied their obligations. But that's up to you if that's what you find at the end of the presentation, and I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you so much. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, how are you?
Good. Your name?
Fei Shi. I'm from Land Associate, I'm a civil engineer.
And Paul Amoroso, Superintendent of Pocket Lakes.
Great. Then proceed. Go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fei. I'm a civil engineer from Land Associate, and I prepared the engineering drawing for the NENEX turf field and also the bleacher press box for the lakeside. Currently, the NENEX elementary school are 80% design done, and for the lakeside press box bleacher, we are still under schematic design, about maybe 25–30% design. So I'll briefly talk about the NENEX turf. So there is a 100 by 100 feet, total 10,000 square feet of grass field. The school would like to convert that grass to the turf so that both high school and elementary school kids can utilize for recess or their PE class. So we have put the turf and underneath their stone base, drainage to take care of the site drainage, and we going to install the curbs, the fencing, the gates, and the ball netting all around the turf. And we're gonna do gentle grading for the grass field. As you can see on the site plan, so the so the new turf will accommodate about 3 soccer field requested by the school.
Do you want to
So-
expand it? You could go right on the side, and there's a little,
So it's not a full-length soccer field. Yeah, it's that 100 by 100. Currently, it's grass. It's difficult to maintain that grass. The synthetic turf gives a much better quality playing surface. So it would be used for our Lennox children during recess, physical education, high school. If any of you are aware, our high school kids take phys ed outside on blacktop right now. This would give them a much better playing surface. In addition, we would use it after school hours for our athletic programs, small-sided practices, strength and agility training throughout the school year. We get a lot of demand, as you know, on the lakeside turf. This certainly wouldn't replace the use of the lakeside turf, but it just gives the school district another playing surface that is easier to maintain, safer, better quality than what we currently have.
Great.
Any questions for this new turf
Anybody have any
before we
questions?
move on to the next site?
What are you looking at timeline for installation?
For installation, we're looking to bid end of this year.
So what's the lead time?
Oh, the lead time, this should be pretty straightforward.
How-
The construction duration, I would see 3 months in my estimates.
Okay,
So we hope to have it done by the end of the summer.
by the end of summer, so you plan on starting after the school year's ended and then complete before the next school year
I don't
begins?
know, I don't know if they'd be able to get it done completely through a 10-week summer, but there could be some impact.
On Lennox?
Yeah,
Okay.
could be.
Now, I guess.
But that's
question
just
is-
that one small section.
Yeah, I'm just curious about like, I mean, is there construction staging necessary? How's that gonna impact lining up for kids in the morning, recess during the day while that's going on? Those are the kind of, operational questions I'm curious about.
We did a roof project this summer that bled into the fall, and we did have some staging. There is an impact, but I wouldn't anticipate it would be a lot of space for the staging.
So we usually would like to line up with the promising bidders or award the contract in spring, like how we usually do in the spring. So right after school finish, usually end of June, so they can start right at the second day when school finish. So, we're looking for that to get our bid and have the contractor sign the contracts, all the documents be ready before, summer starts.
Okay,
So say, yeah, about 10 weeks,
sounds
2
good.
weeks
All
or
right, thank
3
you.
months. It's,
You're probably better off with the 2 weeks at the end of the project than the 2
Right.
weeks at the beginning. Because the 2 weeks at the beginning is going to be heavier construction. The end is just
Yeah.
going to be finished work.
Yeah, we'll work around. I mean, it's not ideal, and you know, construction is gonna take
Oh,
longer.
right.
It's gonna take longer, but there is a lot of space out there. It will temporarily take that section offline. But on the other side of it, we'll have something much better.
And in the end, it's great for the kids.
Yeah.
Remind me, you don't put a pile of snow there in the winter, do you?
No, we can push this, no, we wouldn't push it there.
Okay. I mean, in the past, have you put that? Is that-
We've put some snow
That's right.
along that fence line, but we can reconfigure
So you
that.
put it on the lot or somewhere?
Yeah.
yeah, it's, the whole, grass area going to be fenced, only has 2 gates. And, maintaining is like a 10 feet wide gate, right, at this Plan North area. So I would not suggest putting any piles
No.
inside.
Mr. Chairman, so just so I know the reason why you picked that size is because that's the current size that's there. Any reason why not either bigger, or why the furthest away from the school, not the corner, the closest to the school?
Yeah, so the bigger, the board did look at that, it just becomes more expensive than what the board was at that. you know,
Cost.
It's cost, really.
Okay.
And then the existing, it just, I guess because it is a good location, it's kind of tucked back, and it's adjacent to the high school. We do anticipate the high school kids using it, so
Yeah.
rather than having them traipse through Lennox Playground, if it were on the other side, they'll be right there.
Got it.
One more question, because we do have a couple neighbors on that one side there, but this wouldn't go at night, right? This is,
There's no plan to put lighting.
No lights.
Yeah,
so this would be done, dusk to dawn kind of deal?
Yeah.
yeah, and at this point, school district use only, but
Okay.
at this point.
Yeah, we not, so side lighting is not part of scope.
Okay.
Okay, questions?
The current surface, you said is grass?
Grass.
Yes.
It was blacktop years ago.
Oh, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
I was wondering,
Yeah.
where is that?
It was grass. I've been told it was grass a long, long time ago. It was blacktop when your kids went through and got
Yeah.
the pen next to it, and then,
That's kinda like
maybe 12 to 15 years ago was grass, and then it really just it's dirt
Yeah.
more than grass.
There's weeds growing through it.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
Since the entire area basically is fenced, that entire area around that plus the paved area, the additional fence around the turf per se is for,
Just so 2 sides are already fenced, so the other 2 sides really just to kind of,
Keep the public
Gate
out
it.
during off hours.
and then we would need to put netting, so there'd be fenced with netting, because we wouldn't want balls flying all
keep
over
balls
the
from,
place.
okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes. So we're adding, fence along here,
Mhm.
and the new fence along here.
Hold on, let me just,
Things here.
can you repeat that again? Just so the people on TV.
So fence on this side, so the west of the field and the south of the field. We're adding fence, and we're replacing the fence at the north
Mhm.
and
With
the
netting.
east. Yeah, with netting, yeah. So it's gonna be netting all around.
You do have houses along there.
Yeah.
But isn't that a 6-foot fence now on that side?
Yeah, this will be, we haven't determined the height of the fence, but fence with netting will be substantially higher.
20
12,
feet.
16.
But not blocking any windows there, sorry.
No, it'll be the netting, kind of like what you see at Lakeside.
The all netting.
The
Wall
old
netting.
All netting, yeah, on top of the fence. Maybe I have a detail somewhere. Something like this.
Yeah, no, I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Mhm.
The open.
All right. Any more questions? Or,
Any questions? I'd open it up to the public, but I don't think anybody's going to respond.
all right, so we can move to the lakeside.
Yes.
I close this?
PB 2406.
Okay.
So while Faye's pulling that up, I'll just, for the sake of the planning board, the background. So this is the final phase of the board's Lakeside Field Improvement Project, which put in the synthetic turf field in 2019, added the lights as well in 2019, and this would be spectator bleachers. The board's decision, the board took some time to make a final decision to keep football down at Hirschfield. So the spectator bleachers that Faye's gonna pull up are for capacity of between 400 and 500. So a smaller bleachers than what you would see at a football complex, but certainly enough for the high school sports that we have currently
Soccer,
operating there.
field hockey.
Soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, with a press box. That's the project. They can pull that up.
No future plan for a field house like that?
No future plans for a field house,
Right now?
right now. Yeah, at this point.
Okay.
And no future plans for football there, or?
Football will remain at
Remain at
Hirschfield.
Hirschfield.
Yeah, yeah. So we do need, right now, we have temporary bleachers that are not anywhere near sufficient for the crowd. We had a county game yesterday, probably had 300, 400 people there, boys soccer game, and, you know, there's people right up on the fence,
Standing all around.
standing, and also it's really in part for security. We need to move spectators off of the fence line, because that field, the sideline for soccer is literally 3 feet from the fence. So we want to move spectators back, we want to contain them. It'll help manage not only spectators, but then there's fencing involved for cars, because right now that space is open. So again, it's the final phase of a plan that the board put together some time ago.
So this is a site plan. The existing turf field is at the north, and here is a BOE building at the south. And the area we're looking at is this area. We are going to remove the asphalt and putting the pile foundation to support the bleacher. And better plan. So we're looking at about 130 feet long by 20 feet wide of the bleacher structure, and 8 by 18 press box at the plant south. So this layout is good for 500 spectators, and we account for the ADA ramp, staircase, and there will be some security lighting for code requirement, because it's a assembly structure, so we have to account for the emergency lights. Of course, we have to consider the fence underneath the bleacher, so that, and the stone to cover underneath the bleacher, so that no one other than the maintenance guy can enter it.
So if somebody drops their keys down or something, there's an ability to get in and get it?
I don't think, because the bleacher gonna be covered.
Solid?
Solid, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, but if somebody had to get under, there's a gate.
Yeah, there's a gate.
Okay.
Great.
But we just don't want kids or people
Hanging
just
out.
hanging out, throwing stones.
Right, yeah.
Like Hirschfield?
Did I cover?
Are you removing the basketball hoops?
So
No.
No, the basketball hoops will
Right here.
probably be relocated. There is a plan to put an outer fence to kind of
Well, that's what I was gonna
separate.
ask, yeah.
Yeah, so the fence you're seeing is containing the bleachers. There is an additional project to put fencing that would separate the parking lot from that bleacher area. Basketball nets would probably be moved inside, because right now the kids are playing when the ball rolls backwards, it rolls into the parking lot, so there's plenty of space, even with the bleachers there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because you have kids playing when you have sport events, right?
Yes.
Cars are moving around all the time there, so it's probably good if you can.
Yeah, so this definitely safety in mind, as well as, enhancement of the experience for spectators.
And with this plan you're presenting, because the biggest concern I get from residents is nothing on the other side.
No bleachers on the other side, that's for the athletes, the benches for the athletes only, so this is, on the parking lot side. I think it's 8 rows, that schematic.
Yes, 8
And it
rows.
runs about 50 yards, 150 feet.
130 feet long, yeah.
And same thing, planning on installation during the summertime, or?
Yeah, so the architect could talk the engineer could talk a little bit better. Lead time, we've been told, is 3 to 6 months.
Yes,
So-
not 3 months. It's
6 months, okay,
Yes,
I was being
6 months.
optimistic. So summer construction.
Summer construction.
Yeah.
The hope would be to have them in place for the fall.
Okay.
Is there a separate portion of the bleachers for handicap, people with like wheelchair or
Yeah,
whatever?
the-
So That's
these
an ADA access. I assume that there were some.
Yeah,
Yes.
these spots are one, I think I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay.
7 ADA spots.
And there's no additional lighting for the field, it's only lighting for the actual seating.
Right, like safety lighting for the.
Safety lighting, so no more spots going out,
No, these would be small lights probably in the corners.
Mhm.
I think the field lights will be light enough, but I think it's code.
Yeah, that's fine, no, just long, yeah, that's fine.
And that's seating for 500. How many do you typically get out of Hirschfield game?
Yeah, at Hirschfield?
Yeah.
Hirschfield we have seating for about 1,500, and so we get, between 1,000 and 1,500.
1,500 for both the
Hirschfield.
visitor and home side?
Hirschfield, yes, not
Yes,
not
yeah.
Lakeside, the sports we currently play, a big game, maybe 400 to 500.
Okay.
Big game.
4 to 500.
And will this be used by, because you do use the fields for other uses, right, besides school? Will they be using these bleachers also?
Yeah, they'll be open to any, like, there's a youth field hockey game going on right now, and there's, 40, 50 parents along the fence, they'll be able to sit.
That's great. Any other questions? Okay. Move forward to it.
Move forward, your resolution, you can move these resolutions first.
Yes.
They're not easily done.
Yeah, exactly.
So as I said before, I prepared 2 resolutions. One is PB 24-05, which would be acknowledging that they came here on a capital review, and you found the project, describing the project quickly, and that it is not inconsistent. I know that's funny, but that's how it's worded, not inconsistent with the master plan. That would be 2405, and then 2406 is essentially the same resolution as to the Lakeside project that you just heard. If anybody want to consider them?
I'll make a
Mr.
motion.
Chairman,
Do we have to approve them separately, or can we do them together?
You can do it together.
Mr. Chairman, usually the engineer's here, I know he's got 2 letters in here. Does he expect he's got some questions on there. Does he expect an answer back from the proposal here tonight? or-
I didn't see those, but ask them, absolutely. I would say ask the questions.
Ask away? He's got 2 letters.
Go ahead.
I apologize.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right, so the first one's Lennox. And I think he mentioned something about there's no stormwater runoff plans. So is there anything that needs to be proposed? Because now that it's not grass, I guess the water, yeah, I apologize for the late notice.
We actually going to install some under drain under the turf.
Okay,
It's like a flat drain underneath the turf and the stones. And then we bring the water to the curbside and then connect to the existing, this one?
What is this sort?
Okay, here. So that's what we're looking for. These dashed lines are the under drain that we're looking at
Okay.
for the entire field. And these are connector pipes. So once they connect, we'll have we bring this way because there's an existing, here, like
Catch basin.
inlets, yeah.
Okay. So it looks like it's connected to a drain that goes right out to the lake, I would guess?
To the lake, I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is the Lennox.
That's Lennox.
So
It goes to a catch
that's
basin.
behind the garage out the River Flat?
No, it looks like it actually flows to the west, so that's the high school parking lot, it flows
Yeah, so.
to the west.
North, well.
Yeah, I think
that's
it's going
Lennox
this way.
School.
Yeah, it goes that way,
Going
so
to the
probably
west.
out to Lakeside Avenue or down to the pond hole and into some kind of drainage system that
They
way.
probably tied in, I'm guessing, into the pond hole, because we just did the new drainage.
Yeah.
So they probably tied into that somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
Yeah,
like.
so the only thing is we are removing the current inlets and reutilize portion of this pipe and bring to the existing catch
And you
basin.
said it's a trench drain?
Trench drain, yes, we are doing add alternates along this line for the
Okay.
trench drain, just to get more improvement for the drainage. We can, we'll see the bids, if
I think the engineer actually recommended making it part of the base bid rather than an alternate to the bid.
for the trench drain,
Correct.
who recommend?
The engineer from Colliers, did you receive these review memos?
Oh, no,
Oh, you did not?
I
Okay.
didn't.
I did send them to you.
Let's see.
So if that's the appropriate thing, send, like Carl would do, right? Send it and then request a response back.
Yeah, it just says, trench drain along westerly side of the proposed turf field appears intended to capture storm drainage off the existing parking lot. Sheet C4.01 indicates the trench drain. As an add alternate, this office recommends that the trench drain is included in any such base bid and not as an add alternate. This is from our engineer,
Okay.
Carl O'Brien.
Yeah, we can consider that. Because it's not needed, because the whole site we've been, will receive stormwater and it's being taken care of.
Okay.
So it's good to have it. Yeah.
Again, it's just that what
Yeah,
our
yeah.
engineer's comment was, so.
Okay. We will evaluate.
So, Mr. Chairman, if you want to, we'll just let Carm send over the letters so that she has the ability to redo it. And I'm fine with that. Thanks.
So we good?
I'm good.
Thank you. If somebody wants to make a,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Wait, hold on, I'm sorry. Are you doing it for both now, or
Yeah.
not gonna do separate, because there's two different
No, do both.
application numbers? Okay,
Same answer.
so I'll just, okay, I'm sorry, who motioned, please?
I made a motion.
Eric,
Yes.
and second?
Tim.
Tim? Do I do a roll call?
sure.
Okay, Mr. Fracaro?
Yes.
Mr. Trost?
Yes.
Dr. Pendexter?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes?
Councilman Deline?
Yes.
And Mr. Bowlby?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Do we have to do 2403?
Okay, I did send it, if you didn't get it,
One more
I
resolution.
apologize,
I know.
but I have a hard copy if you like, and I can resend it to you tomorrow. Yeah, sure. Or when I go back to my desk tonight. I will, I'll resend it. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Oh, you guys are good? That's great. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, pleasure.
thank you.
Good luck with the project.
Thank you.
And we have one final resolution on the board for Viola Water.
Yes. Oh God. Oops.
You want to read that resolution? You need a,
Had to.
I don't need to read it, but I can remind you, this is a resolution for the water company. They have to update some of the electrical work. This is for a pump that's been there well over 25 years. It's past its useful life. It's updated that, some of the electrical substation. They are going to amend the plans to reflect that they will not be replacing the slab or bridge over Ashen Brook at this time. They're going to do some cleanup, painting, and maintenance of that existing garage, securing it. I think one of the little plans, and also there's a variance, a side yard variance that you're granting for, what is an accessory structure.
have anybody to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll say it.
Thank you.
Tim and Mr. Keating?
Roll call?
Okay. Mr. Fracaro?
Yes?
Mr. Trost?
Yes.
Dr. Pendexter?
Present.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Councilman Deline?
Yes.
And Mr. Bowlby?
Yes.
Okay.
See nothing else on the agenda. Does anybody have anything to add?
I've got a question about the project behind us over here. Is there any way for us to go back and look at what was recommendation or our recommendations back to redevelopment and back to the mayor and council as far as the outside venting of the dryers and bathroom vents, kitchen vents? As I recall, we had in-depth discussion on that, and there was to be no venting outside the building on Wanacue Ave or on Babcock.
Are we talking about Meridian? So I can write it down.
Yeah, right.
Meridian. It appears to be there's venting outside, you know, some of the vents are coming out this side of the building. We didn't have discussion about that. Driving around the building, it looks like there's vents coming out the entire length of the building on Babcock. And I do believe that was one of our conditions, that the vents would not be outside the building on that road. Don't think there's anything coming, there's nothing finished on the front by Wanacue Avenue, but
I remember talking about Wanacue Avenue for sure, but I don't remember Babcock.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm
The
pretty
first
sure.
step would be to pull the
Just a resolution.
final resolution. That'd be the first step. If you could just get a copy out, I'll take a peek and then I'll report, or if you could send it around to everyone. That's fine.
Yeah, because I don't know if
Yep,
that's
send everybody a copy
something
of the final.
that was passed on and ended up as one of the final conditions,
I
or.
vaguely
if
remember it,
the-
but I
I
can't
know
remember
Brian
the precise
Otto was
precision.
very passionate about that.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it would be at the planning board level, the site plan approval, so if it was a condition of this board, they would have to follow it as part
well, I'm
of.
just saying, before we get too far along with finishing the building, I'm sure
Right.
there's a lot of work inside that's already completed. I believe it was either supposed to come out this way, or I'm 100% sure if I remember, if there's a courtyard in the middle of these buildings, like a chamber for light and air in. I thought everything was supposed to be vented into that. So, if that's the case, doesn't look like they're following it.
You could just get a copy of the resolution and send it around.
Send it to everybody?
That was all I got.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, just a quick report on the master plan committee, for lack of a better term. So we met on September 10th. It was Rich, Carm, myself. Tim couldn't attend that night, but he's part of our committee. The main thing that well, two things. One is we were meeting at the library only because of lack of a better place. Steve always had the meetings there, so that's where we met. Going forward, we're going to have the use of this little conference room over here, so.
What do you call it, the Alliance Building too, if you need more room.
That's
Okay, all right, so in the future, that's where our meetings will be, that's number one. Now, number two is, after we kind of went through what the current plan is, again, we have the 2007 plan, and then the 2017 revision, well, again, lack of a better term. As we went through them, we kind of read through some of the goals, objectives, but that's, I think, now where the committee is looking for advice or direction. It looked like the way it was built few years ago, and looks like the planner, which was Debbie Lawler, I think at the time, was very involved. So now I think our recommendation is, can we have our next meeting with the planner involved to say, what role do you want us to play and what role do you play? So that's kind of the direction, but then I don't know from a paid employee if we have to get permission for her to show up, or how do we organize
Does it
that
fit in the budget?
part of it?
Yeah, I mean, just request it, you and Mike can request it to Michael Corelli. I'm sure he'll say yes to that.
Okay.
And we'll-
You'd have to.
What?
You'd have to.
Well, you'd have to.
I mean, that's the thing, it's like, it's the planning board's planner, so
Right.
they have the ability to
Yeah,
hire.
I don't know, but
utilize them as
if
necessary.
she says I don't want to be there, then we can't make it.
Well, no, I mean, can't make her
Yeah.
go, but then you'd have to wonder if you want to call you as engineering as your planner, so.
Yeah, I don't see an issue.
All right, so I think that would be the guidance for the next meeting that we have, is to have her come and kind of lay out what are the expectations is for us, what they want us to do, what's the expectation for them to do on that.
So maybe you want to put that in an email to the chair and the vice chair, and then they can send that over to Corelli, Michael,
Okay,
and then just okay it, and then set up the date.
okay, sounds good. That's really it. Again, this kind of morphed into this master plan committee, where it first started, where Steve kind of brought up some items where we were looking at the zoning map, and it looked like when you look at the 2008 zoning map compared to today, it changed. And we were looking to say, hey, we should really look in there. I think how it came up was the car wash. And they're saying, well, if you don't want a car wash there, change your zoning map now so that nobody could come in and apply to put a car wash there. So that was the original intent, was just to get the zoning map reviewed. But now it morphed into, well, we got a master plan due in a couple of years, we should start looking at it. So that kind of changed a little bit. So the other item would be a current zoning map. Should that be reviewed as part of our process? How do we get a current one? Because you can see the one that we're looking at, it's obviously different than what it should be today, because we know changes.
Eric, maybe you want to jump in what we talked about, what redevelopment's thinking about doing.
Yeah, I mean, the councils, I mean, it really should, well, it'll have some overlap with this latest master plan reexamination. I'm assuming that that's what the board is looking at, is a brand new reexamination report. The council wants to see the downtown redevelopment plan fundamentally maybe amended to have, I think, less coding of the actual, treat it less as a zoning code and more as a strategic document of the type of development, design, things like that. So there's going to be some overlap with recommendations that come out of the reexamination report relative to changes to the downtown redevelopment plan, the redevelopment plan. So when that's going to happen, maybe next year, and that's actually going to come through this board as well, is updating that redevelopment plan as well.
And there's a pretty big cost involved in that, so.
Have we got a scope of work? We got a budget for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it'll be next year, but it has to be a budget.
Yeah. So just something to keep in mind, because I know the last reexamination report had some recommendations to the redevelopment zone relative to height and things like that. So, again, if these are going to be running concurrently, it would be good to have both of them consistent with each other, what those recommendations are, even as the redevelopment plan becomes more of the enforcement mechanism of the redevelopment zone, where this is obviously more the visioning and strategic document.
And then just the one last item would be, as you know, Rich is a short-termer, so to the end of the year. So as we look through the current master plan, Tim, I know you were on there from the original, so, good asset to the committee. But anybody else that wants to join, will be short one, probably in January. But so if anybody's interested. Thanks.
Great. Okay. Anybody else? Nope. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second it.
Eric
I'm
and
done.
John?
Get to watch the Yankee game. And